So we're back. So we're underway at last for the feature race, and we seem to be under safety car conditions. Not 100% sure why. If you have just joined us, we do apologise for the delay at the end of the formation lap. And it seems to be that all 21 cars are still running, but there's some with damage to their cars. KM's off the Wild Dog is off the track in the Carlin, or is it the High-Tech actually? No, it is the Carlin. My apologies. It seems to be having his own spins, is Wild Dog. But there's going to be plenty to the pits at the end of this lap, including Cookie there in the Trident. He's got damage to his vehicle. So Swanshanks leads ahead of Williams, and it's Rosie in third place ahead of Scouse Cookie, and it's Will, Winfield, Scott, Melios, Robin and Marcel, who's done well from the back of the grid actually. And Rosie comes in. She seems to have damage to her UNI Virtuosi. Winfield in as well. Green Pies into the pit lane too quickly. He gets a penalty for that. Now, for those who have come in at the end of the first lap, this will not count as their mandatory pit stop. That opens at the end, at the beginning of lap 3. Plenty of activity in the pit lane. 8 cars in. And the lanes in the all 21 still running in this feature race. Pies exits the pit lane now. He's running in 17th position. And he's coming back out now in Vintage. One of the championship contenders also got caught up in the first lap mayhem. And Vintage should be getting a going here, and he does so now. So Swanshanks leads behind the safety car. Glitch there. Williams in second, and Scouse Cookie and Will. Scott and Robin are next, followed by Marcel and Ramsel. Podge and Lucifer are next behind. Just looking to see whose cars are controlled by the AI at the moment. It looks though not one is there, so that's good news. And the safety car remaining out there for one more lap. Scouse Cookie gets penalised for speeding in the pit lane. I wonder if this is to go onto the hard compound and then back onto the mediums later on. This will not count as his mandatory pit stop. He's got damage to his front wing, that may as well explain it. Lucifer also in. Scouse gets back out in 19th. This will rejoin in 20th position. So at the moment, I believe it's 5 drivers with penalties so far. Marcel, Green Pies, Cookie, Scouse Cookie and Vintage all have 5 seconds each. So Swanshanks head in the field at the moment. The safety car will go in at the end of this lap. We may see some pit stops at the end of this lap. The pit window has opened now, so those all on the mediums can think about coming in for a pit stop. Lucifer and Vintage have not caught up yet. And I think the safety car will remain out there for one more lap. It's a bit too late now, I'd have thought. They will be heading into the pit lane, so Swanshanks decides to remain out there. Scott going into the pits for a change of tyres. Doesn't get the car slowed down in time, and he gets a 5-second time penalty. Should have known when to slow down there, if I'm honest with you. Bulldog also coming in. Green Pies likewise. Now those who are coming in now, this is their mandatory pit stop. So Green Pies knows the situation. There he goes, currently in last place. Still not able to get going at the moment, but he does so now. So Swanshanks in the lead with Williams second, and it's Will, Ramsell, Podge, Jay Hartnell, Nalke, Rosie, Winfield and Argent. So Swanshanks will be hoping to convert this into a victory. I don't think he's won a race this season. Swanshanks currently 6th on 140 points coming into this round. How he would love to pick up a victory in the feature race, where the bigger points get dished out. Safety car in this lap. So Swanshanks will back the field up, and he'll go when he is ready to do so. All 21 cars on the hanger straight, waiting to go. Here we go then. Swanshanks leads the field over the line to begin lap 5 of this feature race at Silverstone. Cookie gets penalised for speeding in the pit lane. And the yellow flags are still showing, but now they've gone green. Showing that Malky's been shown the fastest lap of the race. That will not go down as the fastest lap by any means, so just ignore that one. We'll have a look to see who's actually got that, just so that the standings can... In the meantime, Williams closes in on Swanshanks. And we've got Ramsell diving to the inside here of the Charoos of Will. And he goes through and up into 3rd place, does the high-tech driver. But Will's fighting back. Ramsell will have the better line coming out of Luffield. And he gets through. And Robin has gone for a spin in the background in the Campos. So there's Williams in 2nd position. Onto the hanger straight. So it's going to be a change of lead here. Williams goes to the inside. He thought about it, but Swanshanks closes the door. And Swanshanks decides that it's time to make the mandatory pit stop. He does slow the car down in time, but the bad news for him is that Will's also following him, and he's going to be held up, is Will. That is a bad timing of coming in. So Will's going to be held up here, horribly. So Winfield's got through on Rosie into 6th position. Oh, Rosie nearly losing it coming through Aintree, but she gathered it all up. Now Lucifer looks to get in front of KM as they go into Brooklands. And Lucifer makes his way past, does he? Yes, just about. He'll have the inside line into Luffield, and that's 9th place going to the MP Motorsport driver. KM's still fighting back, though. Oh, he's got into the wall, and he's crashed out of the race. He came too close there, did the ART driver, and here his race has come to an end, and he's taken out Lucifer as well. And we've got a safety car. So Lucifer has gone into the barrier as well. And I have to say, it was very marginal, but the accident should not have happened as it did. And this is going to prompt pit stops now, and Williams is going to make his way in. Does he slow down in time, though? He does just. Oh, and that's Jay Hartnell who's gone for a spin. And he's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane, so Jay Hartnell's race has come to an end. So drama continuing here at Silverstone. Now those on the hard tyres are remaining out there. That's Rosie. She pitted earlier on. She's already made her mandatory pit stop, so she may well go to the end of the race on the compound that she's on. Scarus Cookies also has been in, Vintage and Green Pies as well, Marcel and Wild Dog likewise, so Williams should be able to rejoin in 7th position, which he does. Ramsel will rejoin in 8th, and there's Robin in the Campos going up to 9th position. So we have our second safety car of the race. I think it's going to be a couple of laps under the safety car as well, which is going to take the race above the half hour. Now, I think in this game, the only time when the hour limit applies is if it's a full race distance. It's a 50% distance of a feature race in the FRL, so the hour limit thing may not apply, but we'll wait and see. It could be that on the penultimate lap of this race, it may hit the 30-minute mark, but there'll still be one more lap remaining for the next time the race leader crosses over the line. That's how it works when it comes to the hour limits. Unless the race leader is on the final lap, of course, when the 30-minute time limit expires. So Rosie leads with Scouse Cookie second, so it's a UNI Virtuosi 1-2 at the moment. Then it's a Dems 3-4 with Green Pies ahead of Vintage. The top four all have time penalties to their names. Marcel, who starts at the back of the grid, is in 5th place. Then it's Wild Dog, Williams, Ramsel, Robin and Podge in your top 10. So Rosie leads the field through Aintree. The whole field's caught up to each other now, so the race will get back underway very shortly. Anyone's game for the race victory, but I think those on the fresher rubber should have an advantage. And keep an eye out on Arjun as well, because he's gone onto the medium compounds. He's run both the hards and the mediums. He's pitted twice as well, so I'd imagine that he's been on the hards already, so be able to go to the end of the race on the mediums that he's on. 6 drivers with time penalties. And I think if we get another safety car, it may prompt some drivers to get onto a set of mediums. So Rosie in the lead, waiting for the safety car to pull in, which it will do so at the end of this lap. She knows the situation. She's got to get on with it here as Rosie to keep her title hopes alive. Arjun's down in 15th place at the moment. So Rosie's got a golden opportunity to claw back the advantage of which Arjun has built up during the course of this season. She's coming towards Vale now. The safety car has gone into the pits, and we're back on the way for the final 7 laps of this race. Malky's just been penalised for ignoring yellow flags as well, so 5 seconds it'll be added to his race time. And Rosie's gone now, and we're back on the way. Someone's spinning round. It's the ART. Who's that? Oh, it's contact over behind. Unbelievable. Podge is out. Robin made contact with him, and is that going to be another safety car, I wonder? Debris everywhere. And I think Williams also got involved because he spun the ART around. Drama again here at Silverstone. Robin's gone off track at Abbey. Green Pies has got ahead of Scouse Cookie into 2nd position also. What an absolute mess of a restart. It's very easy to lose control of these F2 cars. Just one tap from the car ahead, or push too hard on the exit, and you do end up losing control. Now there's going to be some inquiries afterwards about that, because that incident should not have happened. So Ramsell getting ahead there of the dams of Vintage, who's dropping back from all this. Ramsell on the fresher tyres, he goes through up into 4th position. And there was a glitch there for a moment. And it looks like Malky's gone round in the Campos, so both Campos cars already in the wars on the restart. So Rosie leads with Green Pies in 2nd position, both going through Stowe Corner. Oh, and someone's in the wall. Is that Winfield? It looks like he got into the barrier there. That could well have been another one of those glitches. And there's Scott as well, who has taken his 5-second penalty when he came in for his next pit stop under the safety car. And Mansell now ahead of Scouse Cookie into 3rd place. As it stands with the time penalties applied, he will be winning this one. He got a tap from behind by Scouse Cookie coming into Village. There's no DRS yet. And Robin in the pits for Campos. And Green Pies now behind Rosie in the battle for the race lead. Here we go then. Going into Copse Corner. Green Pies on the inside. Will be enough room for both cars to get through. Green Pies just backed out of it, and wisely so. Arjun going side by side with Wild Dog. So Argent is through. Scott gets a time penalty for track limits, and the same for Williams and Wild Dog. And it looks like Robin has gone off somewhere, and has Scouse Cookie. Front wing gone on the UNI Virtuosi. He's going to have to go round because he's too far past the pit lane. So that's his chance of points diminished pretty much. And Scouse Cookie's out of the race for points in the wrong way for too long. He was probably going to retire from the race anyway. By the way, he's not going any further. And now we can see a change of lead, because Green Pies has got ahead of Rosie. So the Dams moving ahead of the Virtuosi before they get to Brooklands. And Green Pies into the lead of this feature race. On the road, anyway, as it stands, Ramsell will be taking the victory. He won the sprint race last week in Mexico. Is it going to be back-to-back victories for him today? And it looks like Robin has gone round for a spin again in the Campos. The leads are going to be coming up to him shortly, so he needs to make sure he stays out of their way. The DRS has been enabled as well, so Ramsell will be able to use that to his advantage, although the UNI Virtuosi is going to have the DRS as well, because Rosie was within a second of Green Pies. And look who's in fourth place as well. Argent doing very well on the mediums. On course for a second place finish as it stands. So 4 laps to go of this race now. So Cookie getting past Swanshanks. He's dropped out of the top 10 now in the Cheroos. The signing of the safety cars have not played into his hands at all. And Ramsell getting ahead of Rosie now into second place. Marcel gets penalised for track limits, and Marcel's out of the race now for Ferrari. Now, is that going to bring out a safety car? Yes, it is. So our third safety car of the race. I think at this time of the race now, with the number of laps we've got left, I think it's just going to be a single lap under the pace car regardless. So there's Malky going through. Will he gamble and maybe go onto a set of mediums? I think that's what some of the drivers will be thinking about doing. Wild Dog's just got back through. I think for those who have pitted in already, if they've got a 5-second time penalty, they can take that under the safety car. Green Pies is on 6 seconds. They are track limit penalties as well, so he wouldn't be able to take them at a pit stop. Whereas Vintage, Cookie, Scott and Malky can do so. Green Pies may as well just slow down. And Scott's just gone for a spin as well in the HW8. And Will's just dropped back here. Not sure what's happened to him. And Wild Dog going off track. Not sure how he's managed to do that, but that's not a good thing for him to be doing there. So Robin goes past the safety car. Green Pies needs to be careful. Do not go past it! There was very nearly a disqualification there for the Dams driver. So there's Ramsell behind in second place now. Arjun's also picked up a penalty of 3 seconds, so he's got his work cut out to finish on the podium. So there's Robin, who is nearly a lap down. The safety car is going to be coming in at the end of this lap because of the number of laps we've got left after this one. 3 seconds added for Will for track limits. So the only drivers that don't have penalties now are Ramsell, Melios, Winfield, and Swanshanks. So far, 15 still in there. And so the safety car is going to be coming in, as I've already mentioned, which will leave Green Pies head in the field. And that's one of the Charoos is going off track. I think that's Will has gone off there. Not able to slow down the car in time. The safety car goes in. And when will Green Pies decide to go here? He waits, he waits, he waits. And he is away now on the restart. Here we go. I think he left it too late there, Green Pies. He slowed them down too much. He leads into Abbey Corner. Rosie not able to get through. Is there anyone behind going to make a move? Ramsell, I think, has dropped back from this lot. There's Arjun down the inside of Rosie into Village, and he gets through and up into second place. So one of the high-techs has got past the Unite Virtuosi, but it's not Ramsell. Rosie nearly losing it coming out of the loop. She holds up Ramsell, but Ramsell's able to get through. So two high-techs in the top three now. As it stands with the penalties applied, it'll be Ramsell taking the victory. Melios has gone round in the MP Motorsport car, but he's back on track now in 14th place. So Green Pies in front. Who's on softer tyres? I think Arjun should be able to move in front here, because he's on better tyres actually than the Dams. Green Pies knows how important it is to maintain position here. Still got one more lap to go. At the end of this one, it looks like the Campbells of Robbins just had a bit of a moment at Club Corner, but it's continued. So can Arjun get in front of Green Pies and pull away from this lot? Well, he's not going to have DRS. There'll be no DRS now for the remainder of the race. And it looks like Malky's gone for a spin. Mielios gets a penalty now for track limits. So the drivers are now beginning to start the last lap of this feature race at Silverstone. Rosie's dropped back from this lot. What's happened to her? She's gone in the pits, and I think she may have damage to her car. Vintage also in. Malky gets penalised again for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, Green Pies nearly losing it. Arjun to the inside, into the loop. Is this going to be a change of position? Not quite so. Ramsell just needs to keep his car on the track and stay in touch with the top two. And victory will be his. So Arjun to the outside. Does he get through on this occasion? No, he doesn't. And someone's gone off at Brooklyn, so that will be Mielios, who's lost even more time. So we're on to the last lap here as the drivers, the leaders, make their way through Beckett's and Chapel. Arjun will get into the slipstream here and pull alongside Green Pies as soon as he can. He doesn't quite do it through there though. Gets all the power down he needs out of Vale. Down the inside goes Arjun. Can he get the move done? Yes, he does. So Arjun is going to take the checker flag first. Wild Dog's out of the race. Arjun crosses over the line, but it's Ramsell who's going to win the feature race, I believe. No, it's Arjun who's been shown as the race winner. It may be a timing glitch, and now cars are just slamming into each other over the line. So Arjun takes the feature race victory ahead of Winfield and Green Pies. Swanshanks is elevated to fourth ahead of Williams and Will. Cookie, Scott, Ramsell's shown he's in ninth, but he should be shown as the race winner. We'll find out in the race results. So Melios is promoted to ninth, and Rosie shown 10th and Vintage 11th. So I think the results are going to be updated, because what you're seeing should not be the correct race result. It should be Ramsell taking the victory. So just waiting for the 2 Campos cars to cross over the line, and then we'll see the actual classification. So Arjun wins, for the time being at least anyway. And I think Malky will drop behind Robin with the penalties applied. So the driver's coming out onto the podium. There's Arjun collecting his winner's trophy. So the results show that Arjun is the winner ahead of Winfield and Green Pies. Swanshanks 4th ahead of Williams in 5th. It's Will, Cookie, Scott, Melios, Rosie in the side the top 10. It's Vintage 11th of Robin and Ramsell, who's shown in 13th position. And it's Malky in 14th. Wild Dog, who crashed out on the last lap, is classified in 15th. Marcel retired ahead of Podge, Lucifer, KM, Scouse Cookie and Jay Hartnell. Those drivers did not make it to the end of the race. On reverse group poll, it looks like it's going to be Scott as well. But Ramsell should be up there as the race winner, to be quite honest with you. The fastest up of the race is also gone to Arjun in the high-tech, so that's an extra 2 championship points going to him. That was the feature race. We'll be right back for the sprint very, very shortly. So less than 30 seconds away from the formation lap already. It is a sprint race, so we expect all the drivers to be on the hard tyres for the 11 laps. I just hope that all the drivers that did not finish the race have stayed in the lobby, or are back in the lobby. So all 21 drivers are on the hard tyres. So let's see who is still in, whose car is controlled by the AI. It looks like that all 21 cars are in there, being controlled by the AI, so we're going to be in for another cracker of a race. So we wrap up the evening. I can tell you that the race time for that feature race was in fact 30.5 minutes, so it hit the 30-minute mark on the last lap. For a sprint race, it should surely be 22.5 minutes, because a full sprint race distance in F2 goes up to 45. Therefore, it would be half. So Scott on reverse grid pole, then it's Cookie and Will. Williams next behind, and it's Swanshanks and Green Pies on the 4th row. Winfield and Arjun are next, ahead of Melios and Rosie. Vintage, Robin, Ramsell, Malky, Wild Dog, Marcel, Podge, Lucifer, KM, Scouse Cookie and Jay Hartnell. Wrap up your grid. So Scott is going to have quite a weight on the grid, actually. KM is only just coming onto the hangar straight now, so it's in his slot. Here we go then for the start of the sprint race here at Silverstone, the second race of the night. As Lucifer and KM slotting into their grid positions now. And we'll begin the second race of F2 here at Silverstone. So the drivers in position and the 5 red lights appearing in front of the drivers. We're underway for the sprint race. Scott leaves the line well ahead of Cookie. And then Swanshanks in third place ahead of the ART of Williams, who's been overtaken by Green Pies already. There's a bit of front wing gone there. It looks like there's an accident further behind. And Scout's Cookie's out of the race already. So another first lap collision, which sees the safety car deployed by the stewards, by race control. And there's plenty of penalties being dished out already. I did see someone go spinning round. There was a bit of debris going in the background. Wild Dog's front wing's gone. Part of Malky's front wing's missing as well. And Jay Hartnell is also without a front wing. So Scouse Cookie not able to get to the end of the race. In the UNI Virtuosi, he's gone. And so the safety car for the 4th time this evening has been deployed on track. So there's going to be plenty of pit lane activity once again. Scott in the lead with Cookie. Now there's no mandatory pit stop in sprint races. It's just lights to flag, although we may see some drivers decide to either put another set of the hard tyres on or a set of mediums, depending on what stage of the race we are on. If we get another safety car later on, I think those towards the back end of the field will just take the gamble of going on to another set of mediums. If they've got any left, of course. So Scott will catch up to the safety car. There's going to be a few drivers heading into the pits shortly. Wild Dog will be one of them. Now Ramsell, I think, is also penalised for a collision under the safety car. Marcel makes his way in, as does KM. Jay Hartnell, Malky and Wild Dog also enter the pit lane. So 5 drivers in the pits at the end of lap 1. So Marcel looking for a good result. Is he going on to mediums? He is. I think KM's doing so likewise. Wild Dog's got mediums on. Jay Harnell's got mediums on. And Malky's got mediums on. So we could see them make their way through the field. So the safety car remains out there. Now, if the safety car is remaining out there for one more lap, could those maybe like Mielios or Lucifer decide to come in and get mediums on? We'll wait and see. So the safety car's lights will still be on. And Lucifer decides to stay out there on the hard tyres that he's on. So the safety car will be going in at the end of the lap it's on now. So just 3 drivers with penalties right now. Ramsell, Robin and Melios. I've got them. Melios has got 3 seconds. Ramsell and Robin have got 5 seconds each. So Ramsell gets another penalty now. His race is going from bad to worse. The driver who we thought won the feature race earlier, but the leaderboard showed different. He's now got 10 seconds worth of time penalty. It's the same with Robin as well. So they must have had it coming together. Have either got damage? No, it doesn't seem to have been. Wild Dog gets a penalty now for track limits. Needless as to be said, he keeps going off the circuit as well. Wild Dog has struggled once again this evening. He really, really has. He just can't keep his car on the track, even under the safety car. Now is the safety car going in at the end of this lap? The answer is yes. So the safety car will make his way in. And with Scott heading the field. But can he keep it all the way to the checkered flag? Here we go then. For the start of lap 4 of this sprint race. 8 to go. Now just watch to see if there's any drama going on behind, because we had some drama on the restart in the feature race. And it looks like we have, and it looks like Robin has gone for a spin in the Campos. Other than that, nothing too dramatic. So Robin goes to the back of the field as Scott continues to lead. And Jay Hartnell is out of the race as well. He's lost it at Village. Don't know if that'll bring out the safety car, to be honest with you. But there's more drama ahead as Winfield and Williams has just lost positions there to Ramsell and Rosie. And now Wild Dog's out of the race. He's lost it on the exit of the loop. So 2 more drivers gone on the restart. Ramsell under threat here from Rosie. Can she find a way through into Cops? The answer is no. So as we watch Rosie behind Ramsell, and it looks like someone else has had an off there. It looks like Mielios is the next to have his own melodies. And he's back on track now. Cookie with a new fastest lap for try. Oh, is that someone has gone into the wall? Yes, it is. It's Scott. That's the race leader who's lost his front wing. Now he's lost it on the Hamilton straight, and he's going to fall right to the back of the field and out of contention for points. So Cookie, now the new race leader, with Swanshanks in second. There's Don Argent in 4th place in the high-tech. And Williams gets the penalty, and that's Scott going through the polystyrene boards. He needs to get that HWA slowed down as quickly as he can. because that is not the way to get through Brooklands. He needs to watch out now because he's got two cars battling with each other. Ooh, he nearly rejoined into the path there of Lucifer. KM also gets through, as does the Prima of Marcel. And Ramsel. Oh, Ramsel's gone, in fact. Ramsel's out of the race. And looks like someone else is in there. That's Will. And we've got another safety car. So Ramsel's race comes to an end at Maggots. I don't know how on earth he's lost that. He must have tapped another car. I think it may have been Will he came together with. We have our second safety car of this sprint race tonight. That'll be good news for Scott, actually, because he can catch up to the back of the field. And it looks like Williams is making his way into the pits. Does he get the car slowed down in time? Yes, he does. Will does also. Marcel into the pits again. Has he had contact with someone? Or has he got another set of mediums ready for him? So Will in for a new nose cone. Mediums ready for him. So another set of mediums ready for Scott as well. So Williams rejoins on the fresh set of mediums, as does Marcel and Will. Scott exits the pits in 17th position now, but at least he'll catch up to the back of the field. And Mielios' race gets worse. He gets another time penalty. Robin is on 10 seconds worth. I'm surprised he didn't come in, actually. I think... Oh, and someone else has gone. Malky going off track there. Not slowing down. I don't know why the field keeps trying to speed up and trying to overtake each other, but... this is something which the stewards need to be having a word with the drivers about when approaching the safety car. It's just so down. Now are we going to be seeing any more pit stops, because the safety car is going to stay out there for one more lap. I haven't thought about going in. Malky takes the opportunity to come in, but he's come in too quickly. And he gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits. He's going on to a set of hards. Those are the only tyres he's got left, really. They're an old set of hards. And he'll rejoin down in last place. So there's Malky exiting the pit lane now in 17th position. So Malky will be making his way back up to the field. Once he does catch up, we should get this race back underway again. It looks like cars are just almost fighting for position, but it's just knowing that they are under the safety car. So KM maintaining his 10th place there. Malky has caught up to the field now, so the safety car will go in at the end of this lap. There's your confirmation. So 4 laps to go after this one. So the field make their way through Vale and now Club. And we're back on the way here at Silverstone, with Cookie still in the lead, but will he keep it at the end? Nothing too dramatic on the restart. You can see a move there from Podge. He thought about going through on Winfield, but backed out of it in the end. And there's Arjun diving to the inside of Green Pies. The two make contact. Arjun should be able to get him on the inside here, and he goes through to 3rd place. Does the high-tech driver. Oh, there's someone in the wall. It's the MP of Melios by the looks of it. And remarkably, he's only got out of it with damage and not his car totally wrecked. But that's him out of a chance of a points finish now. And as in sector 2, Malky's gone for another spin in the Campos. Oh, Rosie's in the wall. Rosie's lost it, and another car's gone as well. That looks like that's the Campos of Robin. So Rosie's out of the race. Robin, unbelievably, has continued. He's into the pits now for a new nose cone. But Rosie's off the track, and she goes no further. That's a bad dent to her title aspirations. With Arjun now in 2nd place, ahead of Swanshanks. And Melios into the pits and out of the race as well, so that's another retirement. So Podge through into 5th place ahead of Winfield. So Winfield beginning to drop back here. I wonder if he's got floor damage somewhere to that Prema. And Williams losing out to KM, who has got through on him. So there's Vintage, who's not had a good day either, to be quite honest with you, in the dams. Losing ground all the time. And Swanshanks now with a penalty to his name, and it's the same with Arjun. So Cookie's chances of a race victory are beginning to increase here. He's got a high tech behind him. He's trying to get through into the race lead on the road. Further behind we can see Williams wanting to get that place back from his teammate to the outside. The two make contact, they banged wheels. And KM looked like he was almost going to go off as Rosie did last time around, but lets his teammate through instead. Arjun with a new fastest up of the race. Scott now gets penalised for speeding in the pit lane. And is this going to be race over for him? Or is he just going to go and try and set a fastest lap? He won't get the points if he does end up getting the fastest lap, because he's outside the top 10. Yep, he's calling it a day. So Scott's race is over. And now Arjun with DRS. Is this going to be a change of lead here? To the inside. Cookie doesn't fight it. And Arjun's through into the lead on the road. And the next task for him is to pull out a 3-second margin. And Marcel now penalised for corner cutting. So Cookie will have the DRS actually to close back in. He won't have a go. As much as he would like to, of course, but that would hand the advantage over to Cookie's. Slowed down for a moment there, but that was actually because of a glitch, so... KM and Williams still fighting over... Well, no, in fact, that's Will and KM, so Will's got ahead of KM to move up into 9th place. Marcel continues to get penalised for track limits now. 9 seconds it is for him. Williams with a new fastest lap. And we are now on the last lap of this sprint race. Now Cookie's out of DRS range, which is good news for Argent. In fact, Cookie's got a time penalty now of 3 seconds, so Argent has got a good chance to end tonight with a victory. In fact, a clean sweep, so both feature and sprint race victories, although this is totally unofficial. The drivers will find out later on in the Discord what the actual correct results are. There's Podge in 6th. He does not have a penalty to his name, so he could actually make up a position or two. Time is running out now, though. So Don Argent on course for victory. Just needs to make sure he keeps his car on the circuit now. Green Pies has got a chance to move ahead of Cookie into 2nd place here. Rear-wing open on the dams. This is going to be him through into 2nd here. I think it is. Here he goes to the inside. And that is the dams through into 2nd. So good move from him. I don't think Cookie's going to have anything to respond to that. Here's Argent then. We go back to the race leader. He comes round to win yet another race. The championship leader, Don Argent, wins the sprint race at Silverstone. Green Pies comes over 2nd, with Cookie 3rd ahead of Swanshanks. And looks so Podge has moved off a couple of positions actually. So Podge finishes 4th ahead of Swanshanks and Winfield. Lucifer and Williams are next, followed by Will and KM rounding out the top 10. Marcel will drop behind Vintage. So Vintage goes to 10th ahead of KM and Marcel. Malky will be 13th ahead of Robin, who's just making his way through Beckett's now. Those are the last couple of finishes. Scott retired with a couple of laps to go actually, so he may well be classified and get a point. Melio's retired earlier on though, as did Rosie, Ramsell, Wild Dog, Jay Hartnell and Scouse Cookie. But Don Argent has taken another step closer to the title with that victory. And with Vintage and Rosie not scoring that much this evening either, they'll extend his hopes and give it an even better chance of wrapping up the title sooner rather than later. So the drivers onto the podium then. Don Argent collects yet another winner's trophy. So here's your sprint race result then, with Don Argent winning and getting the points for the fastest lap apparently, but in actual fact Green Pies, his fast lap was even quicker, and followed by Williams. So Williams gets the points for the fastest lap. So Argent wins ahead of Green Pies, and it's Cookie in 3rd. Podge 4th ahead of Swanshanks. Winfield 6th ahead of Lucifer, Williams, Will and Vintage. Running out the top 10, KM and Marcel are next, followed by Malky and Robin, the last of the finishers over the line. Scott was classified in 15th place. Melios did not finish, neither did Rosie, Ramsell, Wild Dog, Jay Hartnell or Scouse Cookie. Now I don't know the championship standings off the top of my head, but they will be reviewed. There are plenty of incidents going to be reported on, I would reckon, with everything that's happened today. So the standings could look different, actually, to what they are now. So that's all for tonight, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Do make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And the next round of F2 in the Formula Racing League will be at the Shanghai circuit in China on the 6th of October, 8:30 p.m. British Summer Time. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.